Hello and welcome to this episode of Pi TV. And today we have Nain with us, who is running for Education Officer in the 2022 Leadership Race. Well, welcome, and it's lovely having you here.
Hi, thank you.
Out of all positions, why this?
So personally, I wasn't really into a lot of management roles, but then the only reason that I chose to run for education officer is because I do experience some difficulties during the COVID times when we're having mostly online, and well, it's just not in person at all, which I find it particularly hard and tough. And then, well, when I discuss it with my friends and my peers, I do realize that they face the same difficulties that more or less I'm dealing with. So I feel like it would be a good chance for me to try and speak up and to do anything which is constructive at all. Yeah.
What has been one of the most difficult things in online learning that you'd like to change when you're an education officer?
Even though now it's sort of like we coexist with this virus, but then a lot of actually there are still a few subjects which is actually still completely online. The whole department or faculty, they're trying to shift that subject to be on a self-paced basis, and well, it's just pre-recorded lectures from perhaps 2 years beforehand or something. I find that particularly hard because I mean, for students in uni, we're expected to have in-person lectures and those kind of university dreams that we've always had. Yeah, like the time that we imagine when we're getting into uni, it's never sitting in front of a computer monitor and just staring at the screen for, I don't know, 8 hours straight. I find that particularly distressing as well, because we're being self-paced. So students would usually they can get sidetracked, and there's no a driving force for them to sit up straight and okay, I'm gonna focus on this lecture. They just be like, oh, I want to hang out with my friends today, so I'm just gonna do the lectures tomorrow. And then, well, more and more excuses, they just accumulate all those lectures left behind, and then well, we have to rush over it in 2 weeks to do 11 weeks time of lectures, which is devastating, I would say. Although I know most of the subjects in UCL, they're trying to introduce more in-person sections, but still I don't think it's adequate enough because there is some students still suffering from a lot of these problems. They got concentration problems, perhaps they got reading difficulties, they can't they can't focus in pre-recorded lectures, they don't get interactions with professors, so that's why they couldn't really absorb those knowledge. They just watch through and be like, oh, what have I learned? You could just watch pre-recorded videos, which is totally understandable for professors because, well, they've got busy schedules. If they got pre-recorded lectures, they can spend more time on their own research, which is good for the faculty, the development of that field. But then I'm not sure if that's the case for students as well, because it really means a lot for students. They have to stand on our shoes to try to amend some teaching plans when they're actually planning for next year or doing any further teachings. They have to take into consideration that the students' mental state.
It's a contested issue, but what's your favorite UCL library?
Main library and science library. So for science library, obviously, because I'm a solid biomedical student, I should love my medical science section in the science library. I find it really amazing when you can see a lot of books and textbooks or different medical books around you. You just get immersed into that atmosphere, which I find it comfortable and really sexy. Yeah, but for a main library, the thing that it like catches my eye is that, you know, in the main library we got like really old-fashioned sculptures, and also the atmosphere in the law faculty is just grand, and yeah, it just makes you feel like, oh, I'm actually in like a university kind of vibe, and to yeah, just to focus on your study. And
What's one of your most memorable moments at UCL?
um well, for my most memorable moment, I would say it's like when I was working in student center. Well, basically, I work there all the time, and then when you look around, you can just always spot some biomedical students like next to you, and we're having it like mostly online, so you could always see people around doing either physiology or like genetics, and you'll be like, "Hi, I'm doing physiology as well," and she was like, "Hi," and then you can always meet new friends that's doing your own subject. Yeah, so I find it pretty interesting.
And finally, when you think back to kind of being an education officer, what 3 words do you think could describe your term?
I would say encouraging, equal, and acceptance. Why it's these 3 words? Because I feel like students in UCL, we got different opinions, that's for sure. And then because it's still the thing that we're not having like as much in-person things as we expected. I find it slightly unfair for students, especially doing science. It's quite a huge put off. Yeah, and I hope if like other subjects they're having like in-person lectures, yeah, why can we not? Or like, is it possible if we could have some more? Because it really means a lot to students, especially for science. Like, imagine that amount of knowledge. So that's why I would put equal. And then encouraging is like when you have more in person, more interactions, it can definitely boost up their interest in the subject, and also to solidify their career plans, which is, I find it really important for a uni student especially. So yeah.
Thank you for your time, for
Thank
your
you.
ideas. It was lovely chatting with you, and stay tuned for next episodes of Pi TV with more sabbatical officers. Cheers.